Excuse me? Go back to my country?
It's a breach of security. Now we don't know what he's done, if he's disabled our vans or has tampered with our vans.
You want to get locked up for something. That's all we ask.
If you're going to lock me up for freedom of speech, go ahead.
You can leave.
Do it.
You can leave.
Lock me up for freedom of speech. Please inform your officer that I have freedom of speech. 215 bodies known to police found in unmarked graves behind jail in Jackson, Mississippi. Hey, what's up, guys? Long Island Audit here. Back again with another installment of Throwback Thursday. This audit took place at the Marshall County Correctional Facility in Mississippi. We now know why the correctional officers didn't want any cameras around. Recently, a correctional facility in Mississippi was exposed for having 215 dead bodies buried in the back of it. Stay tuned to the end of the video for more information and updates. Let's get into it. Hey, ma'am, how are you?
See what you got going on.
What I got going on? Yeah, I'm just taking some pictures and video of the facility here.
Why? You work with somebody? I don't want that camera on me.
Well, why'd you come up to the camera then?
What do you mean? Because this is private property, sir.
It's not private property. This is public property.
I'm not gonna argue with him. And he got people on recording and stuff. You might call the police up here because this is private property.
Can I get your name, ma'am?
No, sir.
Oh.
That's weird.
So you need to get off the property now.
This is not private property, ma'am.
So you need to get off the property.
I'm trying to see.
But I'm engaging in a constitutionally protected activity.
We're not giving you the right to record us, sir. You're not supposed to.
You're in public, ma'am. And plus, you came if you didn't want to be recorded, why would you come up to the camera?
I work here, sir. You don't work here. You just own this property for no apparent reason.
It's public property, ma'am.
Come get it locked up here. If you want to be up here, stay right.
I don't. That's weird. Is that a threat? Is that a threat, ma'am?
Yeah, he's just trying to start something.
I'm not. You're the one that came up to me. I'm just taking some pictures and video. That's all I'm doing.
You can see the whole sign and say private property when you come in.
It does. It's not private property. Who pays? Who owns it, ma'am? Who owns it, ma'am? Who owns it, ma'am? You have no authority outside of those gates. I'm not an inmate, okay? Treat me with some respect. I've heard a lot about how you guys treat people on the inside. You're not gonna treat me like that. You're just a regular citizen. Assault? It's assault to video record you? Excuse me? Go back to my country? Go back to my country, huh? Wow. You need to go back to yours too? Interesting. That's very racist. That's very racist. Wow. This is my country, so you know. And I'm exercising a constitutional right, just so you know. So right here we have pulling up the Holly Springs Police. Right here. Car number 6. How are you today, sir?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
All right, what's going on?
Can I just get your name and badge number, please?
Officer Moss.
All right. And your badge number? 7.
Okay, now what you do?
Oh, I'm an independent journalist. I'm just taking some pictures and video.
Okay.
Yeah. And this correctional officer over here began to say racially motivated statements towards me to go back to my country and that this is private property.
This is private property.
How is it private property?
This belongs to the state.
The state is a government entity, sir. Can I ask for a supervisor, please? Because if you think that this is private property.
Right here.
Yes. How you doing, sir?
Fine,
can I get your name and badge number, please?
Bradley.
Badge 5. Badge 5. How you doing? Sergeant Bradley?
Yeah.
Sergeant Bradley, nice to meet you. I was over here taking some pictures and video. I'm an independent journalist, just exercising my freedom of press right here. The correctional officers over here said this was private property. Again, any property that is funded by the government.
But out here is fine.
Any property that's funded by the government would be public property. It's public property. If you have a right to access it, like if somebody was going to go visit somebody, they would have a right to walk on this property, right? If you have a right to access it, no one's going behind the fence or anything like that. And again, the correctional officers inside began to escalate the situation, telling me I should go back to my country, that because I was recording them, it would be considered assault. Just a bunch of craziness, really. Bunch of craziness. That never happened, ma'am. It's on camera.
You got a vehicle around somewhere?
Oh, yeah, I have a vehicle somewhere. I just walked over here, though.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Major Rogers. I'm the supervisor in charge.
Wow, and she said to go back to my country in front of you, Major.
He said, actually, my central operator saw him around our vans, videotaping our vans, which is a breach of security. Now we don't know what he's done, if he's disabled our vans or has tampered with our vans or anything. So when I came out, I told him this was private property and he would have to leave. He began to argue and try to, get us to say things against, it's just private property. I advised him if he didn't leave that we'd have to call the PD and have him taken out trespassing. Not only has he breached security with our vans, he's now breached security. He's got our tag numbers of our staff members that came in.
It's all public information now.
It's not public information.
When you're driving down the street,
This is a secured
do you have your license plate blocked or is it open? This is secured would be the fence, ma'am. I did not go by the fence.
Called my warden.
Yeah, that's exactly where I am. No, the cars aren't private, sir. They're not private. You run tags all day. Are they private?
Tags all day.
But you're not an official.
It doesn't matter. They're public, ma'am. They're public.
Okay, my warden says if he doesn't leave our property to have him locked up for trespassing.
Well, I'm not on your property, and plus this is public property. Yeah, but where am I now?
You were on our property.
Okay, but unless you have no trespassing signs, ma'am, you need to learn the law. Unless I'm free to leave, I'm free to stay. I'm free to leave, I'm free to stay. Free to leave, free to stay. This is a public easement, sir. This is a public right of way.
This is
Wrong. You're wrong. You see those electric poles there, ma'am? Those are public utilities, meaning that they're on public property, ma'am. Why don't you tell your warden how your correctional officer told me to go back to my country? You're okay with that, right, Major? No, I have freedom of speech. And she told me, no, that's what if somebody told you something like that? Something insensitive to your skin color. Well, how would you feel about it? Right? You wouldn't appreciate it very much. Listen, I'm not a police officer. I don't have to carry that burden of being told. And if somebody told you something racially motivated, I'm sure you wouldn't take too kindly to it, Sergeant.
I tell you, we get told a lot of stuff, but we deal with it. So it's our job.
Well, I didn't do anything but just confront her about it. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm just telling her that that's that's crazy. And I will be talking to the warden about her, her actions here today. That's insane.
You got the right to do that. But I don't know the process of doing it.
Yeah, you see the difference. They wouldn't be able to put these telephone poles over here if it were private property, because these are what's called public utilities. So they would have to work on them, right? That means they're public utilities. That means that line right there, that's all public property, because they wouldn't be able to work on it unless.
You have a good day, though.
You too, Sergeant. You have a great day, Officer Moss.
All right, have a great one, brother.
You too.
Please don't go on their ground.
I'm on publicly accessible property right now. You guys are a bunch of racists. Racists. I got freedom of speech. Please don't tell me what to say, officer. I don't want to argue with you, sir. Sir, I don't want to argue with you, but I have freedom of speech. Please. Please. I can say whatever I'd like, sir. This is why this is America, and this is a free country, and we have. I don't care, sir. Sir, I'm trying. Sir,
You want to get locked up for something? That's all we.
If you're gonna lock me up for freedom of speech, go ahead.
You can leave.
Do it.
You can leave.
Lock me up for freedom of speech. Please inform your officer that I have freedom of speech. I have freedom of speech. I could say way worse. They calling them racist, okay? But I'm choosing to be cordial. I could say way worse.
I can call them what I really think, but I'm choosing not to use profanities. I'm calling them what they are. They're a bunch of racists. You're gonna be held accountable for this. You know that, right? I'll be speaking to the warden. And I'm sure a whole bunch of other people will be too.
Officer Moss over here trying to curtail my freedom of speech. Take care, Sergeant. You guys stay safe. I'm right here. I'm gonna exercise my rights though. You condone racism, right, Major? You condone racism? Sergeant over there. Officer over here. See, this is why we stay on the publicly accessible property here, guys. Because those two officers, even though this is public property, they would have locked me up and I would have been sitting right there in the Marshall County Correctional Facility in Mississippi with a bunch of racists on the inside doing God knows what to me. And then who knows, if they're racist like that, who knows about the judges, the people in this county. Insane. All right, fellow patriots. So the update on this audit is that the unidentified correctional officer unfortunately was never held accountable. I did get in contact with the warden of this correctional facility and no disciplinary action has been taken, but that's very normal. Public servants are not held accountable, but this is the real story here. And this is why they didn't want any cameras inside of the facility. 215 bodies known to police found in unmarked graves behind jail in Jackson, Mississippi. Now, you might be wondering, why haven't you heard about this? Because corporate mainstream media covers for law enforcement. Point blank, period. No news media outlet like CNN, MSNBC, Fox News has picked this story up, and it's absolutely egregious. A horrifying situation is unfolding in Jackson, Mississippi, where 215 dead bodies were recently discovered in unmarked graves behind a state jail. The families of those buried in what is known as a pauper's field behind the Hinds County Penal Farm were never informed of the death of their loved ones, let alone given the chance to retrieve their bodies and pay their respects. The extent and scope of this travesty and utter disregard for human life is still largely being kept under wraps. However, what has been reported thus far is chilling. The grave sites of the victims are identifiable only by a number and a metal rod. The bodies were not embalmed, given coffins, or properly buried. The graves were dug by inmates, and it is likely the burials were carried out by the same inmates. One activist, known as Silky Slim Reed, who has been outspoken on the events, described a morbid scene at the burial ground when visiting, reporting that buzzards fly overhead, attracted to disturbing stench that emanates from the improper burials and shallow graves. The shocking revelation was unearthed only due to the persistence of Betterston Wade, who spent 7 months looking for her middle child, Dexter Wade, who suddenly went missing in March of 2023. Betterston would not find out the truth about her son until October of 2023. Dexter had been killed shortly after leaving his mother's home, hit by a Jackson police car while crossing a nearby interstate highway. Police were aware of Dexter's identity as he was killed with identification on him, and yet still failed to notify the family. Instead, the police department let Dexter's body remain unclaimed for months in the county morgue. Betterston repeatedly called the Jackson Police Department to ask the police if they had any information on her son after officially reporting him missing to the police on March 14, 2023. Just days after he went missing, the grieving mother emailed pictures of her son to the police and requested they show the photo on television. Finding no help from authorities, she took to social media to appeal to the public to look out for her missing son. Betterston reported NBC News that her decision to call the police was difficult for her because of her lack of trust in the department. Go figure. Her 62-year-old brother died at the hands of Jackson police in 2019 when an officer slammed him to the ground. The officer was convicted of manslaughter but is appealing. It was not until August, several months later, when a new investigator took over Dexter's case and finally notified the Wade family of the death. It took Betterson 2 months before she could track down her son's body in the pauper's field. Moreover, like the other victims buried in the same plot, it cost the Wade family $250 fee to claim Dexter's body. This is outrageous. This should be covered on all of mainstream media. This needs to be seen by the world. This poor woman, not only was her son killed at the hands of police officers in Jackson, but her brother as well. And not only that, the police officers, instead of identifying him and reporting the death, they hit him with the car, investigated themselves, as always, ladies and gentlemen, found no wrongdoing, and then put his body in a shallow grave. Put his body in a shallow grave and kept it from his mother. This is horrific. I am doing more investigation on this. I'm going to Mississippi. I am glad I didn't end up in a shallow grave in the back of that correctional facility that we just witnessed. This is why First Amendment auditing, activism, journalism is important. We need to expose this to the world. Shame on all the corporate news media for not covering this. I will be going to Mississippi to investigate this further. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next one. Long Island Audit. Peace.